Carl Jung famously said that what remains unconscious will govern our lives without us realizing it, and this is especially true in attraction. While millions of women expend endless energy chasing attention, overgiving, over-explaining, and wondering why their efforts leave them invisible or forgotten, there is a rare type of woman who commands devotion effortlessly without saying a word. She doesn't chase, convince, or beg for love. Instead, men find themselves drawn to her presence, respect her deeply, and often obsess over her. What sets her apart isn't simply beauty or charm, but a profound understanding of the male psyche, which is not moved by logic alone but by instinct, emotional tension, and unconscious patterns. Desire is not sparked by constant availability or full transparency but by mystery and emotional charge. She reveals very little, allowing his imagination to fill in the gaps. Her power lies not in being accessible but in being unforgettable. This isn't manipulation, it's psychological fluency. By mastering the 9 hidden psychological patterns embedded in masculine desire, you stop reacting to a man's behavior and start shaping the emotional atmosphere around you. These are not tricks, they are fundamental psychological codes. The woman who understands and embodies these codes does not merely attract attention, she commands genuine devotion. The first tactic in mastering attraction is understanding the power of the validation gateway, the subtle art of recognizing and reflecting her true value without chasing approval. Men crave validation not out of shallowness, but because they have been conditioned to link their sense of worth directly to their performance and achievements. Every like, compliment, or approving glance feeds a deep psychological need, an itch in the male ego that seeks reassurance. However, when approval is given too freely or too frequently, it loses its value and becomes emotionally numbing. Carl Jung described this as the inflation of the persona, a fragile mask built on external praise that never truly feels complete or authentic. When a woman offers constant validation, she risks becoming background noise, like a favorite dessert offered endlessly until it no longer excites the palate. The key to breaking this cycle is intermittent appreciation. Instead of applauding every surface achievement, focus on recognizing genuine character and meaningful growth. Praise sparingly but with full presence, making each moment of approval deeply impactful. When your recognition is rare and authentic, it doesn't just register in his mind, it resonates emotionally, making him feel truly seen and understood. The second tactic in mastering attraction is harnessing the subtle force of the mystery principle. Predictability is the silent killer of desire. The moment a man can anticipate your every move, your schedule, your responses, your emotional shifts, his imagination switches off, and with it, anticipation fades. Men aren't drawn to women simply because they're hard to get, rather, they are captivated by emotional tension, the subtle mystery that keeps their minds actively engaged. Mystery creates just enough unpredictability to spark curiosity without tipping into chaos or manipulation. It's about maintaining an emotional rhythm that he cannot fully decode, allowing space for his imagination to wander and desire to build naturally. Practically, this means resisting the urge to explain everything or fill every silence. Instead, allow quiet moments to breathe, and create space for him to notice your absence and feel compelled to reconnect, rather than constantly managing your presence. The third tactic in mastering attraction is becoming the emotional mirror, the rare presence that reflects his feelings before he even speaks them, creating a deep connection beyond words. Men are seldom given the space to express their emotions fully, and in their attempts to soothe or fix, many women miss the essential step that forges the deepest connection, truly witnessing his inner experience. When you become an emotional mirror, able to accurately name his feelings before he even puts them into words, it creates a rare and powerful bond. In that moment, he feels genuinely seen without the vulnerability of full exposure, bypassing his defenses and connecting at a level beyond conscious conversation. This is not therapy or manipulation, it is feminine attunement, an intuitive presence that recognizes and honors his emotional state. A simple, precise observation like, "I sense you are overwhelmed but holding it together," can unlock doors within him that he didn't even realize were closed, forging intimacy through understanding rather than action. The fourth tactic in mastering attraction is understanding and navigating the fear of inadequacy, the hidden barrier that keeps many men from fully opening up or showing their true strength. Beneath the surface bravado lies one of the most profound fears in the masculine psyche, the fear of not being enough, not strong enough, successful enough, or desired enough. This fear isn't something you need to provoke, It already exists, quietly influencing his behavior. The strategic woman doesn't challenge this insecurity directly or compete with it. Instead, she reflects a vision of possibility, becoming a mirror of who he could become, not through pressure, but through her calm absence. When you maintain a purposeful, vibrant life outside of him, rich with mystery and meaningful movement, his mind instinctively fills in the blanks. Questions arise: where is she? Who is she becoming? This dynamic isn't punishment, it's magnetic gravity, drawing him in through the power of your independent presence. The fifth tactic in mastering attraction is balancing genuine admiration with subtle challenge, sparking respect, and keeping the dynamic charged with tension and growth. Every man desires admiration, yet admiration without challenge risks stagnation and decay. If you only soothe his wounds, you risk becoming a caretaker. If you only push him, you risk becoming a critic. Striking the delicate balance between support and challenge is rare, and profoundly magnetic. Carl Jung described the anima as the inner feminine presence within every man, and when a woman simultaneously admires his efforts and believes in his potential, she activates this inner source of growth and transformation. The key is to appreciate his progress, not just his victories, and when he retreats or plays small, respond with calm restraint, allowing silence to communicate more than disappointment ever could. Your unwavering standards become the edge that compels him to rise, inspiring growth without pressure, and creating a dynamic that is both supportive and demanding in all the right ways. The sixth tactic in mastering attraction is cultivating social presence sensitivity, being aware of how your energy and interactions influence his status and confidence in social settings. Men are highly attuned to how a woman navigates social environments, her posture, the way she holds eye contact, the power of her silence. All these nonverbal cues communicate far more than words ever could. A common misconception is equating femininity with softness or passivity. In reality, true feminine presence is a subtle but undeniable command. You don't need to raise your voice, your energy speaks first and sets the tone. Jung described this as the archetypal queen energy, the kind of woman whose mere gaze shifts the atmosphere in any room she enters. She doesn't demand respect, she quietly expects it, because she has cultivated it within herself first. This self-respect radiates outward, naturally drawing others to respond with admiration and deference. The seventh tactic in mastering attraction is becoming the accountability mirror, reflecting his actions and choices with clarity to inspire growth without judgment. Men often declare strong values, yet under pressure, their behavior can contradict those ideals, a tension Jung identified as the split between the shadow and the persona. When a man says, "I value honesty," but then acts dishonestly, most women either overlook the inconsistency or react with anger. You, however, will take a different path, gently reflecting the gap between his words and actions. A simple, calm observation like, "You mentioned loyalty is everything. How does this moment align with that?" isn't accusatory, it's a conscious awareness that invites self-reflection. In that moment, he sees himself more clearly, sometimes for the very first time. You become a mirror, not to shame or judge, but to reflect reality with clarity and emotional maturity. The eighth tactic in mastering attraction is embodying authentic feminine energy, expressing your true self with confidence and grace that naturally draws him in. The most powerful feminine presence isn't loud or demanding, it's sovereign, grounded, and whole. It isn't reactive, needy, or performed for approval. Instead, it simply is, present in the body, honoring its own natural rhythm, and radiating self-respect without the need for words. You don't have to mirror his masculinity, nor do you need to submit to it. Feminine energy, from a Jungian perspective, is the wellspring of life itself, mysterious, magnetic, and beyond control. When you fully embody this authentic feminine presence, you awaken something deep and dormant within a man, not through effort or strategy, but simply by being your true self. The ninth tactic in mastering attraction is cultivating unshakable self-worth, holding firm to your values so your confidence becomes magnetic and non-negotiable. At the core of authentic feminine power lies an unshakable truth, a woman who does not need a man, not from pride, but from a place of genuine wholeness. She remains complete on her own, never staying out of desperation or bargaining away her standards for fleeting attention. When necessary, she will walk away, not to punish, but to protect her inner peace and integrity. This kind of self-containment unsettles the ego, yet it magnetizes the deeper masculine soul. Because what real men seek isn't to be needed, but to be chosen freely by someone who stands fully on her own. Self-worth is not a strategy or technique, it is an energetic state. When you truly know who you are, the entire dynamic of attraction and connection transforms. This isn't a playbook for manipulation or games, it's a map back to your authentic self. You now understand the architecture of masculine desire not as a mystery to be cracked, but as a pattern to honor and navigate with awareness. Each of these 9 psychological keys reveals a deeper truth. The most unforgettable women don't chase, plead, or perform. They simply see clearly, choose consciously, and walk away when their standards aren't met. These women aren't desperate for attention, they are devoted to self-awareness, and that devotion transforms everything. When you become the woman whose silence commands presence, whose energy shifts atmospheres, and whose essence cannot be possessed, men don't just notice you, they evolve because of you. You aren't here to be understood by everyone, but to be deeply felt by the few who are ready. This isn't about being wanted, it's about being truly remembered.